Greg and Kim, the Alice family tells me on Sunday night a car came flying down Lafayette Street into their car that was parked right here, pushing it all the way into this pole. If it had been a few minutes earlier, their daughter would have still been in the car. Police were actually called to the area of 600 Wisconsin Avenue, where they found 2 victims suffering from gunshot wounds. Clark County Sheriff Ray Norris says he has nothing to hide. But Clark County residents I spoke with have a different story to tell. Ashley, the National Weather Service here in Mobile says we need to be looking out for 2 different types of warnings, and one of them is not always taken seriously. Mobile police say anything that can be done to prevent distracted driving should be considered because they still see so many people on their phones daily. People that are part of the Mobile Porch Parade say they were heartbroken by Mardi Gras cancellations, so they found a way to keep Mardi Gras alive and help artists by renting these huge float pieces and installing them in their yards to celebrate the season. Scarlet Pearl staff lifted all COVID-19 restrictions immediately today at 5 when allowed by the Gaming Commission. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here at Fish River Christmas Tree Farm. The owner was especially worried this year as Hurricane Sally pushed over thousands of trees here on his farm, but luckily they were able to save a lot of them in time for the big day. I talked with the family of the man who lives in this house here in Citronelle, and it's so badly damaged after Hurricane Zeta. He says he's now out of options due to a lack of insurance. The Attorney General's office says in the filing documents that Sheriff Ray Norris allegedly used his position to accept thousands of dollars from an individual whose business provided food to the Clark County Jail. 14-year-old Dalen McBride's father and sisters tell me they're still searching for answers as they cherish 14 years of memories with Dalen. The Mobile County Sheriff's Office says this all started around 7 this evening when a resident of this home ran out into the street, flagged down a driver, and asked them for help. He says it's possible local churches may open to provide that shelter, but you'll have to stay up to date with Clark County EMA, as well as calling those local churches to make sure they're going to do that. Keep your phone charged and download the MyNBC 15 weather app to get all those notifications so you know when it's time to go. Reporting in Thomasville, Laura Barcheski, NBC 15 News. Greg, downtown business owners say this parade and celebration of the commissioning of the USS Mobile brought them a much-needed boost and brought downtown back to life.
Downtown is our little heartbeat, and we're beating again.
The Tardy Gras Parade celebrating the commissioning of the USS Mobile brought thousands of people to downtown Mobile, bringing traffic to businesses who are still fighting to keep their doors open.
Anytime there's an event downtown, it's good for our businesses. You know, our restaurants are full, our retailers are full because we often start celebrating when we have a parades early in the day. And so even from lunch, you know, all through the afternoon, we'll have a lot of traffic in our businesses.
Pat's downtown bar and grill owner Mike Piercy says this celebration is coming at the perfect time.
Oh, definitely. This time of year, we actually start getting into our slow season. People want to go to the beach all the time on the weekend, so things are a little slower downtown. So if nothing else, it's a nice shot in the arm for us during the slow season.
This parade not only brought Mobilians together, Bienville Souvenirs and Gifts owner Gary Owens says the festivities brought people from neighboring states like Mississippi and Georgia to town.
You know, it's slowly turning, and we're slowly seeing the tourism of Mobile boosting up. And as Mobilians living here, we don't really realize how many tourists come through Mobile, but we have a lot of tourism through the city of Mobile, and that excites me, and I love to promote this city.
Urban Emporium owner Katie Lavorne says events and celebrations are the thread that holds the colorful fabric of Mobile together.
It's been, difficult not having all the ones that we've had before. Usually we have multiple a month, and so it's really nice to have these big events come back downtown.
The The celebration continues with the commissioning of the USS Mobile tomorrow morning, and business owners are expecting another busy day tomorrow. Reporting live in downtown Mobile, Laura Barcheski, NBC 15 News. Clark County Sheriff Ray Norris says he has nothing to hide, but Clark County residents I spoke with have a different story to tell, and they believe corruption at the sheriff's office has been going on for years. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall started the impeachment process of Clark County Sheriff Ray Norris, charging him with 4 instances of corruption in office and 11 instances of the commission of crimes involving moral turpitude.
I got it off the news same time y'all did, and then I got served from the AG's office. But I'm not allowed to make a statement. I've hired Mr. Joe Espy in Montgomery. He'll be making all the releases on my behalf.
Espy says Norris denies the allegations but could not comment further as they are currently going through the documents from the Attorney General.
Don't have anything to hide. The Attorney General gets these complaints and he has to follow up on them. And I don't have any hard feelings with his office. That's good guys up there and they do a good job.
Documents say Norris allegedly used his position to accept thousands of dollars from an individual whose business provided food to the Clark County Jail. Some of the other charges include filing a false 2019 Statement of Economic Interest form and failing to file a 2019 tax return. While he couldn't comment on the specifics in the document, I asked, were you shocked, surprised when this all kind of came around?
Well, when you're in politics, you get people filing complaints every day. Every time you arrest somebody, you make an enemy. And so that's just life in the political world of being sheriff. But I love Clark County, I love these citizens, and I never intend to embarrass my county doing anything wrong. So if the Attorney General has found something that's uncomfortable to him, then he has to go through the process, and that's what we have a court of law for. I am most definitely not above the law.
A resident of Clark County who wanted to remain anonymous disagrees with Norris, saying the county and the sheriff's office has a long history of corruption. She believes the investigation is long overdue.
I feel like it's just one small step in the right direction, and I hope that they use this as an example to the rest of the sheriffs in our state, that there's rules and laws that they have to follow too. They're not God. They can't just make up the rules as they go and follow some laws and not the other.
Another resident who also wanted to remain anonymous believes Sheriff Norris needs to be removed immediately.
I feel like that he is the most corrupt sheriff that has probably ever been a sheriff in Alabama. The amount of lives that he's ruined and people he's done, those people need to see justice and need to know, they need to be able to trust again. They need to be able to trust our law enforcement, because that's what we've always been told, that, they serve and protect, and he didn't.
The Clark County administrator tells me they were not aware of any corruption going on in the sheriff's office. Greg? It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here at Fish River Christmas Tree Farm. The owner was especially worried this year as Hurricane Sally pushed over thousands of trees here on his farm, but luckily they were able to save a lot of them in time for the big day.
I see all these families all day long with all the kids, and they're having such a good time, and it's really making me feel good because it was an especially difficult year.
Fish River Christmas Tree Farm owner Steve Manhard says they were able to save thousands of trees damaged by Hurricane Sally by using wooden stakes to hold them up. And to make up for the ones they ended up losing, they had to have about 2 truckloads of trees brought in.
Our pine trees, while they're out there, they got a little more beat up than the cypress trees. These you would hardly know it had a hurricane. But the pine trees, it tends to shred the needle off of the side.
Whether picking out a tree, cutting it down and taking it home has been a tradition for a few years.
I've been coming here for 6 or 7 years now, getting one with my son, so starting a little tradition.
Or one that's been passed down for generations.
This is a big deal for our family because I've been coming out here with my mom since I was a kid and doing this. We love Fish River Tree Farm, and so we've been doing it, and then I got married and we bring my family out here and our kids, and we all take turns. And
families across the Gulf Coast didn't let a hurricane or COVID-19 prevent them from making special memories together.
It is very important. My kids actually do virtual school, so they don't get to hang out with their friends and do all that. So to have a little of their normalcy back in their life, it means a lot to them.
Manhart says the support from the community means a lot to him, his family, and his employees, but the Christmas cheer a tree brings to a family means so much more, especially this year.
And I know everybody else in the community's pretty much had a tough year. And maybe it's time for us to all have a good time for a while.
The owner of Fish River Christmas Tree Farm says they probably sold twice as many Christmas trees this year compared to last year, but don't worry, there's still plenty of trees for families to pick out, cut down, and take home. We'll have all the information on our website, mynbc15.com. Reporting in Summerdale, Laura Barcheski, NBC 15 News. We are live here at Jerry Carl's downtown campaign office, which is just down the road where he is having his watch party tonight at 7 p.m. at Old Majestic Brewing. Jerry Carl is in the running for the 1st Congressional District, and he is running against James Averhart. Mr. Carl joins me now. You were at the polls all day today. Tell me how you're feeling heading into tonight.
We're feeling very positive. The polls we went to were primarily Republican polls. It's just been a huge turnout. So we're excited that obviously works for our benefit. It works for Coach Tuberville's, and it works for the president. So we're excited some of the numbers we're going to see out of it.
And what do you want to say to your supporters? This has been a long campaign trail, about 2 years. What do you want to say to them who've been with you?
Thank you for having the patience. Thank you for all the effort and the hard work. We've had a team of folks making phone calls for the last year. We've had folks passing out signs, knocking on doors. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. I could not have possibly dreamed of making this work and being here tonight in a good, solid position without just tons of volunteers and help.
And what's one thing, if you're elected, that you want to make sure happens when you get into office, if you're elected?
I would like to see the Bayway Bridge finished. That project brought back to life and actually finished. So that's one of the top of my list.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Carl. We'll be back at the watch party tonight, and we'll bring you live coverage from there. Reporting live in downtown Mobile, Laura Barcheski, NBC 15 News.